Because when you do this, people won't know who you are. Because then you'll still be this man. The way, yeah, over here. I did this for you. Keep it like this for some time. So, it's a little white speck of light around here before I close my eyes. So that I don't open them and focus on wherever that camera is. Instead, yeah, I can move and alternate in such a way to where it doesn't matter. I can still be myself, but they can't be themselves because they have to find a way to see, and they can no longer see because tú te exhibes sin ojos. No, solo lo que tienes enfrente se puede ver. Lo que quiero decir es, cuando tú tienes los ojos cerrados, no importa lo que veas, porque de cualquier forma es una prisión tener los ojos cerrados. Cuando los tienes abiertos es otra prisión en este círculo que estamos, el planeta Tierra. ¿Cuánta gente puede salir afuera a ver el espacio? Si miren, si se ponen a pensar, una cosa caliente que sale afuera en el espacio implota, explota. Es querer decir que esa cosa como un supuesto teorizado ven grande, explotación grande. Otra vez pónganse a pensar, algo muy caliente, frío luego. Implota, explota. Crumble. Como hielo, como una estatua. Se explota. Se quebra. Implota, quebra. Implota, quebra. Implota, quebra. Implota, quebra. IQ, 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 IQ. Implota, quebra. Implota, quebra. Implota, quebra. Implota, quebra. Quiero poder decir eso con los ojos cerrados, porque no pueden ver. No pueden leer nada. No tienen cosas en sus ojos para ver. Lo que ven, yo solo veo adentro de mi cabeza. Yo solo sé adentro de mi cabeza. ¿Quién más sabe eso? Nadie. Solo yo. Para todos los ladrones. Ahí está. ¿Ustedes pueden hacer esto? ¿Verdad que no? ¿Cuánta gente imita y copia y no se sabe quién es quién? Yo sé quién soy. El que nací, pero cambié a esta forma, a una forma donde sin dedos, sin lo que ustedes dicen que es una maldición, sin eso, ¿qué es? Es nomás, entonces es coger. ¿Para qué estamos aquí? ¿Para coger? Sí. ¿Cómo hacemos eso? ¿Cómo podemos expandir la atmósfera para poder tener más vida, más oxígeno, más planeta Tierra? Esos volcanes que están saliendo, lo mínimo 6, miren a La Palma, como está ahorita, Islandia, Yellowstone, en Idaho, California, por las playas. ¿Por qué está pasando eso? Se está transmitiendo el lodo. Se ve como lodo. Y al final de cuentas, cuando todo se acaba, es lodo. Más planeta Tierra. ¿De dónde viene eso? El petróleo. Del coro. ¿Pueden ver el coro? ¿O quieren ver arriba? ¿Qué quieren seguir viendo? Tú tírame. ¿Qué quieren exhibes? ¿Quieren sentirse que están vivos? ¿Con ver? ¿O quieren sentirse que están vivos con sentir? Como la ley de consentir. Cuidado con eso. Los lleva a la ruina. Fíjense que otros países ni tienen una regla de cuándo se pueden casar. Como en los países en el Medio Oeste, en Asia. www.ageofconsent.com, www.ageofconsent.com, perdón, www.ageconStent.com, es decir, .com. Pero ya que no usen eso, en los Estados Unidos la ley federal dice que 16 años. Ya cualquiera de los estados pueden decir, no, pues a mí no me gusta esa regla. Yo soy el gobernador, por ejemplo. Estoy hablando como el gobernador de California y la quiero dejar en 18. Allá cada quien. Ahí está la regla. Ahí está Dios que dijo, ustedes se pueden negar de la forma que quieren. Más tengan mucho cuidado porque Dios sí tiene esa venganza. Y no estoy hablando de un ser humano. Estoy hablando de la luz que vive en nuestros cerebros. La misma luz que nos deja saber que estamos vivos, que podemos oír, que podemos sentir. ¿Qué queremos ver? ¿Queremos ver que estamos vivos? ¿Queremos ver que podemos sentir? ¿Queremos ver que podemos oír? Claro, eso queremos ver. ¿Se necesita para saber que estamos vivos? Si puedes sentir y oír, no. Porque es como decir una pregunta de burla. ¿Sientes y oyes que no? Los perros ladran. Oigo, es un perro. Lo bueno es que ya sabía. Háganse esa prueba. La otra persona te está siguiendo y nomás se está copiando porque se está arruinando su vida. Él sabe que si quebra la ley, no va a despertar. Ah, no sabía eso. Ese señor, el copión. ¿Qué quiere decir? Yo tenía esto, pero ya está robándoselo. Sí. Póngase a pensar, señor. Mire a lo que viene usted. Uno que supuestamente sabía de esto, pero ¿qué hace? Divide a la gente con esto. Y mire, la luz lo despierta y la luz lo apaga. No se le olvide eso. Ustedes sí pueden verse en los ojos para todas sus vidas. Es una forma muy difícil de cómo vivir si empezases de esa forma. Pero si tuviste esta enfermedad ya después, o este daño, es una vida muy difícil. Pero ¿qué tal hablar de esta forma con los ojos cerrados? Todo el tiempo saber esto, lo que estoy diciendo. El hidrógeno en el centro del planeta. ¿Cómo está eso ahí? Más bien, ¿cómo está el hidrógeno en el Sol? Que dicen que es un supernova. Entonces, ¿quiere decir que nuestro planeta Tierra es un supernova también? ¿Sí o no? Es muy cerca que sí. ¿Y cómo explotará? ¿Le podemos prender un cerillo? ¿Le podemos prender algo si llegamos al core del planeta? Es muy posible. ¿Lo quieren hacer? Porque ya están escapando para el centro del planeta. Y nomás se los digo así en rojo vivo para que sepan exactamente lo que está pasando aquí. Porque salir para afuera, pónganse a pensar otra vez. Si algo caliente sale afuera, en lo hielo, lo frío, lo oscuro, negro, el espacio, se quebra, explota, como las primeras 3 roquetas de Elon Musk que explotaron. ¿Qué hizo con la cuarta? Pues supuestamente yo creo que fue una mentira, como todas las demás. ¿Cómo sacan esas imágenes de todos esos lugares afuera en el espacio? ¿Cómo lo hacen? Lo que se ve de arriba para abajo son los drones que necesitan ayuda solar, porque lo solar, pues ahí se dice que está hecho eso ya, que ya está trabajando bien. Me voy a tener que calar para ver si sí es verdad, porque pues yo no lo he hecho, yo solito, pero ahí los tengo. Lo bueno es que tengo eso para averiguar si es verdad o no, porque es lo que les quiero decir. Algo tan simple así, tienen que decir, uy, un poco poco es verdad eso. Energía que viene del sol. ¿Y cómo? Vamos a decir que sí es. Para no gastarme mucho tiempo en el examen, porque ahí tengo mis solares, mis paneles solares, ahí tengo mi invertidor, mi convertor y la batería litio. Ahí está todo. Nomás tengo mucha huevonada. Y ¿quién no tiene huevonada para cargar algo así de pesado y meterle ahí mano y hacer cualquier cosa? Por eso a esa gente se le paga mucho dinero. Y la gente que no hace nada, pues nomás se le da para sobrevivir. Y pues por eso estamos en un lugar donde si necesitamos quebrar de otro lugar donde como mantenernos. Let's speak English. Yes, if I speak English, it'll be clear that I'm talking about hydrogen from the earth and hydrogen from the sun. Implosion break. Implosion break from space to hot, from hot to cold. From a monetary system that I said, we can do without anyone else's help, and even without paper's help. Why? Because we don't really need the paper. How many of you pay with paper these days? Very few. How do you pay them? Normally like a transfer of your phone, your card, a chip or a ledger or something, and email. Zelle, for example. Who doesn't use Zelle these days? Or who doesn't use a form of payment that is like QuickPay? I think from what I remember having Chase, they did it first, from what I remember. And it was called QuickPay. They would let you pay up to like $1,500, $2,000 every single day to anything with an email address. How easy is it to eliminate paper or physical money instead of going that route? It is much easier to go the route of the electronic version, like it already kind of is. I have said nothing with the exchange server from cryptocurrency. Pretend it's not even there, and then just put your country's dollar there instead, or your country's currency there. Put your country's currency there, forget about the exchange, and you have your own form of government again. Separated from anyone else. Why do we say separated? Well, when I speak of the United States of America, we have a military that could point into the earth, into the sea, on top of the sea, and on top of the air. Who dares tread on the United States of America? Especially having a constitution like we have. A free speech, like I'm doing now, and saying, neighbor, the good neighbor, please get a weapon. Look at our military. They set a great example from any kind of invaders that dares jeopardize our Constitution. This one, number one, free speech, and number two, having a weapon. It doesn't just have to be a gun, be a knife, be an axe. It could be a shoe, a brick. Just make sure you defend yourself. It's basically saying you have the right to defend yourself. If you kill anyone defending yourself, you're free to go. And on top of that, it is God's law. Lamech in chapter 1. In the first book of the Old Testament, the Torah, the Pentateuch, which was in one situation told by Moses, and in another situation in Greece told by Onkelos, in a very similar fashion, when they spoke about lightning and who lightning is. Everyone else carries lightning in their minds, do they not? Prove me wrong, says Stephen Crowder. Our military is very powerful. Our Constitution is very sound. It is on Christian beliefs, like Jesus once said, love yourself and love your neighbor. When he summed up the Torah, the Torah, the Old Testament, of the Ten Commandments. Well, now you can look at it as 12 if you don't understand why he summed it up with 2. Love yourself and love your neighbor. If you look at the Ten Commandments, loving yourself fulfills the Ten Commandments. If you look at the Ten Commandments, loving your neighbor can be interpreted like, well, I'm not loving my neighbor by stealing his wife. You fell there. Both the Ten Commandments and Jesus' law That's why the New Testament is thinner than the Old Testament. Everyone carries lightning. Everyone is enlightened. The core carries lightning. Light is all around us. The sun carries lightning. Hydrogen. Hydrogen on the earth. You can find hydrogen on the earth. Bleach, Clorox, is a form of hydrogen. It's a form of cleansing. It's a form of energy. If you feel sick, get a bleach wipey. They sell them at the stores. You don't have to inject it into anything. Your pores are already openings into your body, into your bloodstream. Try it out if you feel sick. But remember Lamech's avengement, chapter 4, verse 30. God, even though it wasn't said, but maybe the Greek culture can tell you, God may have told Lamech to at least tell his 2 wives. And I'm not saying be Mormon, because that's the Old Testament before Mormonism even existed. Lutheranism, before Lutheranism even existed. Both of those, because they believe in having multiple wives. I don't know how women could take that. Hey, to each their own. It's not a real religion here in the United States of America anyways. Kind of like the Muslim religion. Because normally religions are second to the government. Because God says, your laws are first, besides mine. The reason I say that your laws are first in the United States of America as an example is because they already condemn murder, in some cases, with the death penalty, with eye for an eye, as the Jewish nation would say. Yeah, talking about laws can be very dangerous because they exist and they govern us. And light says, follow your laws, or I'll make sure that you don't have to follow them again then, if that's what your problem is. God can take you away in your sleep. Anyone else. Beware of who you are and what kind of power and authority you have and carry, because regardless of whether anyone else sees you or not, you see through your own eyes. Someone is seeing, and that's you. Someone has memorization, and that's you. Single witness, if that's the only one that's there. And so when you do the things that you do against the law, beware of your soul. Beware of your light in your mind that can easily be stripped away. And you'll be left like a coma. Because somebody can come in, try to shock you to life. And the next thing you know, they have your heart beeping on the machine, beating inside of your vessel, your temple, your image, your copy. Does that make sense? History books is all I see when I read the Bible. History books. Nothing to do with religion. I don't really care about that word. I do care a lot about history though, and her story. Because aren't they stories? Regardless of how we believe in them or not. Or as the atheist says, who's God? I don't believe in God. That's what the atheist would say. Well, let me tell you this, atheist. You don't believe in the idea of the word God, but you do believe in the idea of the word power, don't you? What is power? Electricity, joules, current, a mixture of all that in a way, shape, or form, and giving you that turn on, 1 instead of a 0, right or wrong, correct or wrong. Which word would you rather use, atheist? Correct or right? Does that make sense, atheist? Since we made a word for somebody that doesn't believe in a higher power. So religion to me is history, or her story. Politics is just a government, a group of people that said, we need to follow this rule in a different way. Jesus' laws. Love yourself and love your neighbor. As a very vague example. Because without that vague example, we won't understand that we're trying to say we're already fulfilling the 10 Commandments with these 2 in that way. But instead, I say I fulfill 12 commandments. Not killing is one of my favorite. not adulterizing, meaning not coveting, not stealing your neighbor's wife, with Jesus is number 2. Not stealing, honoring your mother and father, not lying. You won't have any other gods besides the idea of why you can open your eyes. Because of light. If you fail that, you'll be reprimanded and you'll be let known. Maybe a shaky way. Does that ring a bell? If you ever get struck by lightning or get struck by any form of power. Those Morpheus moments. Air. We see it. Why? Well, what's the difference between air and light? The fire that does that. And then you have the cloud in the atmosphere. And then you have the rain. And then you have sustenance for the ground. Or just a way to say grow, grow, grow. Oxygen. But it's already oxygen from there to here. Back up to there. In the way that you would say the hydrogen in our core likes to expand and give us more land. Because we are fulfilling the laws of God to not kill anybody, to include animals. We're an animal, aren't we? If we have a brain, if we have a heart, if we have lungs, we're animals. If we can understand and see that electricity flows from our brains to the rest of our bodies, we're animals. Subdivided as just in a definition, just as a word, we're humans. Separated from the word animal only, but we're animals. Thou shalt not kill. What does it say about being a vegetarian? Genesis chapter 9, verse 4. Genesis chapter 1, verse what is it? The 6th? Yeah, the 6th verse, somewhere there. Read Genesis chapter 1 up to the 10 first verses and you'll see that we're supposed to be vegetarian. If you want to follow God's law of thou shalt not kill, love yourself and love your neighbor. So easy, isn't it? What a raw film to put up there. It's nice. Let's put it up. And I'm going to open my eyes now. Holy shit.